I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
This administration is shameful. Y'all are a disgrace.
We're watching the fall of this administration.
In Dolton, Illinois, tensions are rising as Mayor Tiffany Henyard faces intense scrutiny and criticism, with allegations of extravagant spending, misuse of public funds, and a police force seemingly more focused on her personal needs than community safety. Residents are questioning her leadership. Once a beacon of change, Henyard now finds herself at the center of scandals that threaten her re-election bid, as her flashy public image clashes with the town's crumbling infrastructure. Will the residents give her another chance? Or is this super mayor's time running out? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hey guys, I am Olivia. Welcome to Red Rumbles, where the heat is rising in Dolton, Illinois. Today, we're spotlighting Tiffany Henyard, the so-called super mayor, who's caught in a whirlwind of controversy, with accusations of extravagant spending and a police force seemingly at her beck and call. The stakes are higher than ever. As her re-election bid approaches, tensions within the community are boiling over. Are her flashy public gestures genuine, or just smoke and mirrors? Stick around as we unpack the drama unfolding in Dolton. And don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates and insights. Dolton, Illinois, a small village with a big debt problem, has its own set of struggles. Once a community hopeful for change, Dolton now finds itself weighed down by millions in debt, eroding public services, and residents who feel ignored. But there's one person right at the heart of all this, commanding attention both inside and outside of town: Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Henyard's approach to leadership is unconventional, with grand displays of generosity on one side and a string of controversies and power struggles on the other. Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't enter office quietly. She presented herself as a fresh face, someone ready to bring much-needed change. With her background in business, Henyard took on the title of Super Mayor and marketed herself as the voice of the people.
Tiffany Henyard making a late appearance at the Dolton Village Board meeting this evening. That meeting was being held at the Park District building since Village Hall cannot legally accommodate the crowds at a typical meeting.
But the boldness of her image contrasts sharply with the backlash she's facing. Where Dolton's finances and public image should be improving, they seem to be sinking under the weight of public disapproval and swirling rumors. When Henyard assumed office, Dolton's finances showed a relatively stable balance. Now, years later, Dolton is millions of dollars in debt. How could things go south so fast? Many point to Henyard's spending choices. For instance, one report reveals an expense of $43,000 spent on Amazon in a single day, all reportedly funded by taxpayer money. Then there's the $85,000 used to host a high-profile event with big-name entertainers.
A Dolton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants her.
Now she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested and charged.
Critics say that, instead of working toward debt relief or service improvements, Henyard appears more interested in making Dolton her personal brand. Supporters of Henyard argue that her expenditures are justified. They claim that high-profile events attract resources to Dolton, and that a mayor's job naturally requires a certain level of public engagement. Yet, residents question the necessity behind Henyard's spending choices, particularly when taxpayer money is involved. First-class flights, five-star hotel stays, and other luxurious accommodations raise red flags for those who struggle to see the direct benefit to the town. Beyond financial controversies, another significant issue is Henyard's alleged use of the Dolton police force. Residents claim the town's police, instead of focusing on public safety, are often seen escorting Henyard or performing tasks that don't align with their responsibilities. Critics argue that, with rising concerns over community safety, Dolton's officers should be protecting neighborhoods, not attending to the mayor's personal errands. Reports of police presence at Henyard's events or appearances only fuel public outrage. Some say the officers have been used as a barrier to keep residents and journalists from getting too close. It paints a picture of a leader out of touch, unwilling to engage with the very people who elected her. For Dolton residents who see their streets in need of attention, the frequent sight of police assigned to the mayor feels like a slap in the face. One of Henyard's latest initiatives is a food distribution program intended to provide support for Dolton's residents. The program includes cooking demonstrations, grocery giveaways, and even a personal appearance from Henyard herself. On paper, it looks like a heartwarming act of public service. But when Henyard steps up to the cameras, smiling and posing with boxes of food, some residents feel the gesture is more about self-promotion than actual assistance. For her critics, this food distribution feels less like community service and more like an extended publicity campaign. They argue that the flashy events only highlight the mayor's need for attention rather than addressing Dolton's real, underlying needs. The complaints echo louder with each event, creating an atmosphere of distrust and disappointment among the residents. The controversies around Henyard haven't just affected public perception. Within Dolton's leadership circle, tensions are growing. Trustees who once stood by Henyard's side now distance themselves, openly criticizing her decisions. These former allies accuse her of ignoring their concerns and surrounding herself with those who won't challenge her authority. According to one trustee, Henyard only listens to people who nod along without question. Henyard's former supporters are even seeking legal counsel, exploring their options in the wake of her unilateral decision-making. With Henyard's growing list of critics, it seems her inner circle is becoming smaller and more insular, limiting her exposure to feedback from the very people who helped her into office. The impact of Henyard's spending and decisions hasn't gone unnoticed at higher levels. Rumors suggest federal agencies may be scrutinizing Dolton's financial records. While nothing has been confirmed, the possibility of an investigation is enough to rattle a town already on edge. For residents who feel their concerns are routinely dismissed, federal intervention may be the last hope for accountability. Henyard insists that every expense and decision has been within her rights as mayor, and that any claims of misconduct are simply attempts to undermine her success. But for many Dolton residents, the possibility of an investigation feels like the first real step toward getting answers. For residents, Henyard's bold responses to criticism only add fuel to the fire. In a recent livestream, Henyard lashed out, accusing her critics of jealousy and dismissing their concerns. She framed their disapproval as resentment against her identity, rather than addressing the accusations head-on. Dolton residents, however, see her stance as deflection, choosing to focus on personal grievances rather than explaining her actions. Statements from Dolton's residents reveal a growing frustration. To many, Henyard's celebrity-like public appearances and reluctance to address issues directly are signs that she may have lost touch with the very people she vowed to serve. In the midst of these controversies, Henyard has announced her intention to run for re-election. Branded as the people's choice, her campaign isn't exactly traditional. Instead of town halls or debates, Henyard's approach centers on large-scale public appearances and billboards. Supporters argue that her high-profile re-election campaign highlights her dedication, while critics see it as yet another example of her desire for public attention. Many residents feel that Dolton needs a mayor who will address real issues, not someone focused on maintaining an image. The election brings everything to a head, forcing Dolton's voters to decide if they'll give Henyard another chance or support a candidate with a more grounded vision for the town. Trustee Jason House and his clean house slate represent a vocal opposition to Henyard's administration. House, once an ally, has become one of her most outspoken critics, rallying other residents who are tired of what they call Henyard's celebrity mayor antics. House and his supporters demand an administration focused on transparency and accountability. And they're not shy about expressing their goal. They want Henyard out. The Clean House movement has gained traction among Dolton residents who feel left behind. They're looking for leadership that prioritizes public service over personal image. For these residents, the election represents an opportunity to bring change to Dolton, to break away from the turmoil that Henyard's administration has reportedly created. Henyard's critics argue that her priorities are misplaced. Dolton's infrastructure, roads, water systems, and public buildings is in need of attention. Yet, these essential services often seem to take a back seat to Henyard's public engagements and high-profile events. A recent water main break underscored these issues, leaving residents frustrated and inconvenienced while their town's resources were reportedly redirected to other areas. Residents point out that these are the types of issues they want to see addressed, and they're growing impatient with leadership that seems to favor grand gestures over practical solutions. For those in Dolton, Henyard's super-mayor persona offers little comfort when roads go unrepaired and public services are stretched thin. With every new headline, Dolton's residents seem to lose a bit more trust in their leadership. For those who initially supported Henyard, the ongoing controversies are a source of regret. Many wish they had taken a closer look at her platform, expressing that they feel deceived by promises that ultimately went unfulfilled. To rebuild trust in Dolton's government, residents and officials agree that transparency and accountability are crucial. Dolton's leaders need to address the issues head-on, without hiding behind grand gestures or flashy appearances. But whether this will happen under Henyard's administration or with a change in leadership is up to the voters. So, Dolton's at a crossroads. Will Mayor Henyard manage to retain her super-mayor image, or will the residents choose a different path? Let us know what you think. Is Henyard's leadership style a bold new approach, or a case of mismanaged priorities? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Red Rumbles for more updates on this story and others in the world of politics, drama, and celebrity. Thanks for watching.